Welcome to the OP12 Blue Kuzan deck breakdown, where we're going to be going over the leader, the cards in the deck, starting hands, tech options you could consider running. We're going to go over the curve of the deck and then look at his matchups. Then we're going to cap things off with some gameplay. So if you want a quick way to jumpstart your Kuzan journey in OP12, this is the video for you. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Card D Kaizoku.
This video is brought to you by Adakai TCG. Shop the latest in premium holographic textured custom One Piece cards. Designed for collectors, crafted to stand out. Use code Kaizoku for 15% off your next order. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. See Western OP11 list and Eastern OP12 list on gumgum.gg. Updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1,000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. So Blue Kuzan monocolor, blue leader here, has a pretty interesting leader ability. What he does is when you trash cards from your hand due to your navy cards effects, you can draw an equal number of cards that was trashed due to that effect. So essentially a lot of the navy cards that have effects that you need to pay by discarding cards in your hand to get the extra value from those cards, you get them back for free. Actually, it's like you're getting to cycle cards out of your hand too. So because of that, like, our hand is usually pretty consistent in getting the answers we want, right? Our game plan is quite simple, and then the fact that we're able to cycle so many cards means that it's really consistent to be able to do the same curve every single game. And that curve we have is really strong too, so we'll just have to get into it once we get to the curve section. But first, let's take a look at the deck list here. For OP06 Tashigi, it's a 1-cost top 5 searcher. Always great to have in a navy deck. That does mean that our gravity blades are searchable in this deck, which is great for like teching into specific board states, right? If it's against like a wide board gravity blade, but also finds our key pieces for our 8 Dawn turn. 2 OP05 main are 2-cost 2k power 1k counter blocker, just a chump blocker. It's a navy type card too, so it's searchable. In the current meta, chump blockers are really nice because a lot of decks like to go pretty big pretty quickly, ourselves included, so it's great in the mirror. 4 OP12 Sengoku, 3-cost 3k power 1k counter. So on play, you trash a card from your hand, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 2 navy cards and add them to your hand, other than another Sengoku. And then again, with our leader ability, we don't actually trash anything, we get to replace that card, right? So this is essentially a 3 Dawn draw 2. Even better than that, you can search specifically for 2 navy type cards, and then you cycle 1 card with your leader ability. So incredibly very efficient card draw here for a 3 Dawn package. And for 2 Dawn attached, he can attack too, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And even in the early game, he's good at swinging into your opponent's tap searchers too. 4 OP12 Hina, 3-cost 3k power 2k counter. So activate main, if you rest this character and trash a card from your hand, you can make one of your opponent's blockers that are cost of 4 or less unable to block. And again, our leader ability gives us the card back from this Hina's ability, so it's just 3 Dawn, make 1 blocker unblockable, and cycle a card, I guess. But yeah, other than that, she's a 2k counter and a navy, so searchable. 3 OP06 Charlotte Pudding, 4-cost 4k power 1k counter. On play, your opponent returns all the cards in their hand, shuffles it into their deck, and then draws a new hand of 5 cards. So this is especially great in the current meta, where it's dominated by purple Luffy decks, right? Green purple Luffy, blue purple Luffy, even Zoro to an extent uses like Dead Man's Game to counter for 3k. Rayleigh needs that 1 extra Dawn for his Conqueror's Hockey. So Pudding being able to disrupt their hand, potentially getting rid of really strong defensive events that your opponent may have in their hand potentially, is a really big threat. And this Pudding also disincentivizes your opponent from going too big in hand size. If they're ever facing a blue deck, they always have to be worried about this Pudding. They cannot keep extra cards in hand and take life liberally. So yeah, it's a great mind game play, but also when it does hit, it's really amazing to hit it, right? If your opponent had like 8 cards in hand, you play Pudding, they lost 3 cards. So it's a threat in the mid game and in the late game, right? Because as we mentioned, we could make them shuffle those defensive event counters in their hand out of their hand when you're trying to go for lethal swings. 4 OP10 Cavendish, 4-cost 6k power when attacking, and once per turn, you draw 2 cards and trash a card from your hand. So unfortunately, Cavendish is not a navy type card, or else this would be super busted, right? It'd be draw 3 when he attacks. He only draws 2 and discards 1. It's still +1 in the grand scheme of things, but you also get to cycle a card, right? So you can find your Garbs and your Kuzans better. But yeah, again, if he was a navy type, this would have drawn you 3 cards instead because of our leader ability, but good enough. 4 OP06 Tsuru. 5-cost 4k power 2k counter. On play, if you trash 2 cards from your hand, your opponent returns one of the characters to the owner's hand. So this can come in handy against like some of the ramp decks that don't like to play like Mr. 2s or characters to ramp, or if you happen to kill their Mr. 2 and they only have that big character on board, you can just play Tsuru. You trash 2 cards, but you draw them back, and then you bounce whatever character they just played. I've done this to like people who rush to playing 8-cost Katakuri, right? You play Tsuru, you bounce it back to the hand, they have to replay it. All just for 5 Dawn too. But other than that, it's a 2k counter and navy. For OP12 Zephyr, 5 cost 5k power 2k counter. On play, trash 2 cards from your hand, which in our deck means that we draw 2 cards back. Then activate main, you can trash this character, return out to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less to its owner's hand. So similar to the Sudo but more targeted, but it's restricted to cost 5 or less. This can be pretty good against a lot of decks actually. Right, your opponent's Sanji and Pudding is a 5-drop unless it's protected by the stage. If your opponent plays a blue Nami blocker, you can bounce it back to their hand too. So yeah, it's just a versatile 2k counter if you need it, or else a bounce effect if you need it for 5. 2 OP01 Virgo, 5 cost 7k vanilla. It's just a vanilla navy that we can cheat out with our Garp, which we're going to go over really soon. 4 OP12 Kuzan, 6 cost 8k power. If you have 5 or more cards in your hand, this character gets +1 cost, so it's a 7 cost. It does make a difference in like evading like 9 cost big bombs and stuff like that. On play, you can trash 1 card from your hand up to one of your opponent's characters cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's a very, very strong effect. It's kind of like the Boa Hancock. Exactly same stat line too. And yeah, just delaying your opponent's aggression or even like locking out one of their big swings that could kill one of your characters is really strong play. And the fact that you can play him on 6 and it still has an AK stat line is really strong. And this is one of the prime targets to cheat out with your Garp. For OP12 Sakazuki, 7 cost AK power. On play, if your leader has a navy type, you draw 2 cards. So just outright, you draw 2 cards in this deck with this guy. Then activating once per turn, you can trash a card from your hand, give it to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. So in our deck, we're actually just cycling out a card and just getting 1 extra Dawn for free for the turn. This is, it adds up, it's really great value. And this is also a really nice card to cheat out with the Garp. Speaking of, for OP12 Garp, 8 cost 8k power. On play, you can trash 1 card from your hand, which in this deck means cycle 1. Play up to 1 blue navy character with a power of 8,000 or less other than a Garp from your hand. So this plays either of the Sakazuki or the Kuzan or the Virgos that we just saw. And yeah, it just depends on what you want to do, right? If your opponent doesn't have any threats on board, you can play out Sakazuki, draw 2 cards and give it down to your leader. If they have something you don't want to attack back into you, you play Kuzan. Or if you don't have either of these and you just happen to have a Virgo in hand, that's also a great option. So yeah, you get 2 8k, sometimes the 7k bodies for just 8 Dawn with this guy out. 4 OP12 Ice Block Pheasant Peck, 1 cost counter event. Up to 1 leader or character gets plus 4,000 power during this battle, then you trash a card from your hand. But in our deck, that means we cycle a card. So 1 Dawn for 4k counter cycle a card. That's insanely efficient, insanely strong. And only really Kuzan can utilize it to this much like value. And then on trigger, you can trash a card from your hand and draw a card, which in this deck is draw 2 cards actually. Right, you draw 1 from trashing and then you draw 1 from the discards effect. So this is like an incredibly defensive event. Most of the times your characters aren't going to be threatened just because they're AK like big stat line, so they'll probably attack your face, and that's where Pheasant Peck can protect you really easily. 2 OP04 Gum Gum Red Rock, 6 cost event. On main, you can bottom deck any costed character on board. Then on trigger, you can bottom deck a 4 cost. So unfortunately, this is not searchable in the deck. It's not a navy type card, but it's a great tech option against a lot of decks actually. And you don't even have to hit something really big with it. Like if your opponent has like a Sanji and Pudding or a Cavendish, those cards that really activate your opponent's leader ability, feel free to just red rock them. It'll really slow them down. 1 Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, 7 cost. On main, place up to 2 characters with a cost of 6 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck in any order. Then on trigger, you can bottom deck a 5 cost. So since this is searchable and the fact that we're able to cycle so much, I felt like 1 was enough to see it when I need to see it. But yeah, this is great against decks that go wide, especially great into decks like Green Purple Luffy. Right, you can bottom deck a Zoro and then a Sanji and Pudding this way. For the price of the deck, since I'm releasing this video before OP12 has released, I only have the prices of cards that are currently available. And I would say a majority of this deck is OP12 cards, but I don't think it'll get too much more expensive than this. But yeah, if you wanted to pre-buy this deck out, it'll cost you $14.40 as of, it's like late July when I'm uploading this. The cards you'll need to buy will be the Zephyr, which is a common, Sengoku, which is a rare, Kuzan, which is a rare, Sakazuki, which is a rare, and Garp SR, and Pheasant Peck common. So Garp being the only SR and Garp being the character that only works in this deck means that I don't think he's going to be too expensive at all. So I wouldn't imagine this deck costing any more than like $20-30. It's a really inexpensive deck, and it's actually not too bad of a deck either. It's quite strong. But yeah, if you wanted to pre-buy these cards via my deck builder, I have a link to this deck list in particular below in the description. Each of these Sharpie card links take you to TCG Player for the cheapest version of each card. Or if you're lazy, there's a mass entry button. You click that, it copies the entire deck list to your clipboard of the cards that are available to be bought on TCG Player. Then you can just Control V and then add it to your cart. It's there for your convenience, and it goes through my affiliate link if you want to support me in a passive way. If you're going to buy these cards anyway, I would really appreciate it. And then we'll move on to the starting hands. So for starting hands, you'll want Tashigi to search, Sengoku to again search. It searches 5 cards deep for 2 cards. And then starting from like your 4 and 6 and 8 Dawn turn, it's pretty much like kind of predestined for you, right? You play Cavendish, you play Kuzan, and then you play Garp into another Kuzan or something. Very, very simple deck. So I guess we'll just move on to the card tech options. So here are some cards to consider. So if Black ever becomes popular again and Lucci starts dominating the meta, I think Rosinante would be great from OP12. He's a 1-cost character with 1000 power, but on your opponent's turn, if one of your blue navy type characters would be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you can rest this character and trash one card from your hand instead, which is essentially cycling a card in our particular deck. And then yeah, it's a replacement effect for 1 Dawn, right? It saves one of your characters from being KO'd. It's a very, very cheap investment to protect one of your AK power characters. You can also consider starter deck 3 Trafalgar Law. It's a 1-cost blocker. Trump blockers again are really strong this set. I think Maynard's enough, but if you want like a cheaper play other than Maynard, you can try to add some laws in your deck too. Gion would be like a tech 2k counter you could consider. So 4-cost 5k. On your turn, once per turn, when your opponent activates an event, they have to place one of the cards in their hand on the bottom of their deck. So this is strong against, again, a lot of the decks that run counter events, namely Blue Purple Luffy, Green Purple Luffy, to some extent Zoro, to some extent Yellow Kid as well. And especially Rayleigh really plays a lot of events. He has to use events to counter actually. So this would make a -1 card in hand. And then this is also like the perfect counter to Blue Nami, but I don't think she's meta at the moment. But yeah, if you're having a lot of trouble with Rayleighs, Gion is the card that you need in your deck. You could also consider Borsalino from the same set, OP12. It's a 4-cost 5k blocker, and then once per turn, if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you can trash a card from your hand instead. So you cycle a card in this deck, and you get to keep him on board 1 extra time. And yeah, on your opponent's turn, he's a 6k blocker actually, so kind of like the black Borsalino from OP02, but this one's a lot more sticky and it's only usable in this kind of deck, well, efficiently at least. But you would run this in place of the Cavendishes probably, so you have to decide, do you want defense or do you want card draw? There's also Jozu as an option from OP08. It's not a navy, but it is a really good blue card in general, 6-cost 7k power. You can return one of your characters to your hand, other than this character, and then you can bounce one of your opponent's 6-cost characters back to their hand. So it's just a great value play. You just have a 7k out and then your opponent would likely have nothing out because you just bounce it back to hand. But you're competing with the 6-cost Kuzan at the slot. But there is an argument to be made to run both if you really want like full control. Lastly, you can consider OP06 Aramaki. So he's also an 8k navy, so it can be cheated out by the Garp. But the thing is, his effect isn't as like universally good. He's a blocker, which is actually kind of good in and of itself already, but only if you cheat it out with the Garp. On its own, I don't think you ever want to hard cast this unless you like have nothing else to do. But yeah, you also have an activate main where once per turn, if you trash a card from your hand, you can place a character with a cost of 2 or less on the bottom of its owner's deck. Then this character gets plus 3000 power. This is great into your opponents who play chump blockers, which is starting to get more and more popular. So there could be a point where Aramaki has to be included in the deck. So there could be a point where it comes to Aramaki having to be included in the deck. But yeah, it makes himself an 11k swing, and then you bottom deck a chump blocker, and then yeah, it's pretty good just off of that merit in and of itself. It just depends on when the meta becomes that kind of meta. At the moment, I don't think we need him, but it wouldn't hurt to run 1 or 2 copies of him if you wanted to try him out. And then we'll move on to the curve of the deck. So the curve of this deck, it's pretty stupid easy. So you want to go second, that's your best curve because all your good cards are even cost. 2 on turn, you'll play Tashigi, or 2 of them if you can, find your pieces. 4 on turn, you play Cavendish. And then 6 on turn, you want to play Kuzan, if you have one, and then you make one of your opponent's characters unable to attack. Swing with Cavendish, draw 2, discard 1, swing with your leader. And then goes to your 8 down turn. You can play Garp into, if you have another Kuzan, that'd be great, but you can play Sakazuki too. So Sakazuki, you draw 2 cards, and then you can trash a card from your hand, so you cycle 1 as well. You can give a rested down to your leader, or any character actually. You don't have to put it on your leader only. But let's say we put on Cavendish, that sounds better. So you have leader 5, Cavendish 7, draw 2, discard 1. You have Kuzan 8, and then you have 2 more AKs for next turn to swing at your opponent. And then you get to your 10 dawn turn here. I forgot to go to 8 for Garp, but yeah, you know what I mean. You have a full board of 8k power bodies. If you have another Garp into like another Kuzan combo, that'd fill your board with a bunch of 8ks, and you just usually like take over the game from there, right? It's a very Attack on Titan kind of deck here. So we'll move on to the matchup section. So here are Kuzan stats for the last week of Eastern games. These are all played on the sim. So we have a total of 17,400 games to look at. On average, going first, he has a 46.3% win rate. On average, going second, 53.5%. So you do want to go second. As we mentioned, that 4-6-8 curve is really strong for him. Against specific leaders, good into Yamato, good into Sanji, good into Green Yellow Law. Good into Rayleigh going second only. And then loses to Green Purple Luffy pretty handedly. Loses to Kid going first, but seems to do pretty well going second with your better curve. Loses to Bonnie and Blue Purple Luffy. This is kind of why you don't see Kuzan too much in the top tables in the East, just due to the fact that like the decks that he's bad against are all the top decks, right? These 4 are pretty up there, but he's good into a lot of decks actually. So he's in an awkward spot where he's like too good to not be off, where he's like too good to be off meta, but not good enough to compete with like the meta decks. So that's the blue Kuzan OP12 list for you guys, preliminary list. Things kind of do shake up between the East and the West sometimes. So if the Western meta develops in a completely different direction, yeah, we could see blue Kuzan take on a different form on our end. But I only have Eastern data to base this off of, and the people I'm playing with on the sim are probably used to the Eastern meta too. So that's how this deck list was created and defined. But yeah, if things change in the future and I have to adjust it to like if the West finds some secret leader tech that no one else knew about beforehand, you can expect a version 2 of this Kuzan, but for now, this is where I'm at with it. And yeah, sorry if I sounded sick in this video. I am sick. I just made a move too. I had to take a couple of days off from uploading in case you guys haven't noticed. So yeah, this sick voice will be forever immortalized in this video. Hope you guys don't mind. You can check out my other OP12 tech breakdowns too, as I'm ramping up to doing OP12 content on my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And then we'll move on to the gameplay portion. Alright, we got a little bit of a Kuzan versus Blue Purple Luffy here. I'm still a little sick, so hope you don't mind the voice if it sounds weird, or maybe I just always sound sick and it doesn't make a difference. So against this guy, right? I think Kuzan's going to be good against him just because, the 6 cost Kuzan, I mean, not my leader. Just because you can lock out some of his big attacks. If he doesn't Sanji into something, I can't stop 2 attacks, so 2 red rocks in our hand is really good. We kept the hand with 1, but we haven't drawn to another, so it's going to be great. Right, if he misses a Sanji hit, okay, plays Chopper for some reason. Doesn't ramp because he has more Dawn than me, but I guess it's always a chump blocker for later. And he knows I play a bunch of big power characters too. So we'll drop Cavendish, that means our leader cannot attack. Trying to see how much I can talk without coughing. I'll mute myself so you guys don't get ear blasted. Okay, so the gear second to go up to 6 Dawn, 8 at us. Take that because I cannot defend that. So Cavendish swings. I will play a 6 drop if I can, which is the 6 cost Kuzan. Okay, pudding is going to be a huge factor against this guy. Right, in the late games when he's leaving up Dawn for the gear seconds, and Gungam Giants will just make them, like we had the Gamba basically, make them shuffle their hand. Hopefully don't get any of those back. If he takes a 6 here, that's good for us. Okay, it's insanely good for us. If he had countered, I think he should have countered, because from this point forward, I'm only going to be playing stuff bigger than 6k. So we'll make it so their Chopper cannot attack. And essentially, I just wanted to cycle the Sakazuki out. I'm looking for a Garp that I can cheat out the other Kuzan with. Consolation would have been to play the Sakazuki next turn, but I'm really looking for the Garp. I'm greeting for it. Okay, 8 cost Katakuri. Attack 6 at my Cavendish, right? If I remember correctly. Yep. I think it's worth to defend him just because he can draw us a card, right? The card that we counter with is a card he can replace. It's free. If I can get him to block with the Chopper, I'm going to play the Tsudu to bounce the Katakuri back to hand. If I remember if I did that in this game. If he does block, that makes me think he doesn't have too much counter in hand. And this is perfect for our Tsudu. We can bounce this non-counter card back. Let's get rid of... so we're really looking for that Garp so we can discard any 2 things here. It was 4k counter though. Because I do think I should keep the red rocks. I don't know, maybe 1 would have been enough now that I think back. Oh, he has to pick his Katakuri because it's the only character out. We draw 2 cards, did not hit our Garp at all, so we'll swing 7-8 and leave it on up for Pheasant Pack. I think I should have swung 8-8 just because I was scared he was going to attack into my Kuzan, but now that I think about it, he has to play a 9 drop, so he won't have any Dawn to attack my Kuzan. So I should have just swung 8-8. I didn't need to leave Dawn up for this counter event at all. Right, if he swung on my Cavendish, I countered. If he swung on my face, I have life to take. Okay, so he Sanji's into 9 Mom. Fortunately, my Kuzan is a 7 cost on board because I have a big hand, but he can get rid of my Cavendish here. But he drew me like 3 cards, so I'm fine with that. It's well worth it. He played his part. And then he has 6 or 7 to throw. 7 we will take. Even though I left on up. Get another Pheasant Pack. I don't want to trigger because I want to use this to save my... If he does start attacking my characters. So still no Garp, unfortunate for us. This could be a good opportunity to pudding, but I think I should develop big characters still. So we'll just... Oh, maybe okay, I do pudding. It's like I'm deja vu, reliving the moment. Because because I made the same decision that I would make then that I would have now. At least that shows I'm consistent, right? Okay, so they countered 3 from our Kuzan. They lost like 3 cards from that pudding, so really set them far behind. They're down to 3 cards in hand now. Play another Kuzan here to lock out either one of these two. We draw another pudding, so if he tries to go for like a leave 5 down up for Gungam Giant, like stalemate. There should be a word for what he does. That's kind of his playstyle, right? Develop 2 big bodies and then leave a ton of down up and then just outvalue you after that. But he does go for a second Sanji into an 8-cost Katakuri. 6 at our face. I guess we counter 2. And then he has a 9 to throw. We'll take that one. He could throw it at the Kuzan, but we can easily defend that. It's probably at our face. Yep. That is the right choice. We finally get a Garp, but with no good targets besides the Virgo to play. If I top deck another 6-cost Kuzan, that'd be pretty clutch. Then he passes, we get another Pheasant Peck. So I guess it's a good time as any to red rock the blocker. We'll swing 8 at face, get him to use a counter event. He does gear second. Okay, 3 cards in hand, no Dawn up. Let's throw a 6, see if he has any 1Ks. And then I think we can just leave Dawn up for Pheasant Peck and protect our characters. Okay, he did have a 1K. Swinging 8 here, he'll take. Right, 2 cards. Oh, I guess it would have to be like a 2 and a 1K to not take, but he does take. We pass with 3 down up. That's 12K counter to protect both of our Kuzans, who are going to be what we are going to use to go for game. Actually, I'm probably going to be too tight to edit. Editor, leave all the coughs in. The viewers won't mind, right? Right? Okay, 7 at our face. If he's trying to go for game, I have to protect. I don't have a 2K, so I have to kind of give away that I have Pheasant Pecks. Get rid of non-counter. We draw into non-counter. That's not good. In a way, Pheasant Peck's like a mini Gungam Giant in this deck, right? Okay, 9 at our face. We'll take one of these. And then I should be able to defend. Well, I don't die. Okay, 9 at our face. It's just that, do I kill him on the clapback? We'll counter this. Then the 9 Sanji we could take. But, well, so I'm pretty sure he's going to leave a bunch of Dawn up. I should probably be as healthy as I can. Right? And then we'll get rid of non-counter. We draw non-counter. That's not good. We'll counter 1 more. And then this was my mistake. This actually makes my Kuzans into 6 cost, so they are vulnerable to 9 cost Mom now. In all honesty, I should have taken the 9. Right? Even if he had like a Rush Luffy to attack me after, I would still live. I really didn't need to counter that at all. So that was my mistake that made my Kuzan vulnerable. I think the fact that I drew so many non-counter kind of got me paranoid, but it shouldn't have. But I can like throw a bunch of 6K pings and stuff. I was wondering what happened. He didn't pass his turn for a really long time. So 6 at leader, he counters 1. I can throw another 6. And then I will try to freeze and then just try to survive with 3 life. He'll have 4 attacks. If I stop 1 attack, I live. So 6 for Kuzan, that leaves me with 9 Dawn left. No, 8 Dawn left. So I can afford to ping another 6 just to see what happens. So throw 6. If he takes, maybe I try to go for game. He takes that. So we swing with the Kuzan for 8. If he takes it, I just do 11 with the pudding. If he defends it, I play Kuzan to stop a 9K, and then I just had to hope I have enough to stop 1 attack. Okay, he took it, so we just go all in, no Dawn up, so pretty good chance that we have it. We had it. And he did get Gungam Giant as his last life card. Okay, Kuzan versus Zoro. This is going to be a relevant matchup. So we keep the Searcher hand, we have Garp, we have Sakazuki. Okay, they play Hiyori, we'll play a Tashigi, which is great to have. We can always swing into the Hiyori with it. Or else we have to waste like our leader's 5K. And then we have to take probably a 2K. I want to have some counter. So we could just see him search and then swing 7. Oh, my throat is starting to hurt. Hold on, let me get a cough candy. Okay, so they find a Cavendish. I need a way to get rid of that guy. I'm alluding to the future because I remember what happens in this game. Okay, 7 our face, we take. Okay, we'll swing 2 at Hiyori. 5 at the face and drop a Cavendish. And then he's going to drop his Cavendish. So once he drops his Cavendish, we're going to red rock it. I don't think it's worth it to let him get any value out of it. Or is that how I should say that? No, I think it's worth it to deny him of any value for 6 down. That's what I meant to say. And with 2 down left, he can't play a Tashigi. It's only Koshiro, which only prevents KO when I'm going to bottom deck. Oh my god, I don't think I can do 2 more games with this. My voice is already starting to go. But commentary is still on point, right? Okay, Cavendish, draw me 2. Discard me 1. I might just get rid of like Virgos or Sakazukis. Oh, yeah, the Maynard. Probably not as relevant into Zoro just because he can always rest my blockers. Okay, counters 2. 5 out lead. Then we'll just play a... Do I have a 6 drop? Oh yeah, we're gonna Red Rock the Cavendish. That's how delusional I am. I already forgot that I said that like not 20 seconds ago. So we get rid of that guy. That's a lot of extra Dawn that we denied from him. I guess I'll take a break after this and return in like an hour. Some behind the scenes magic for you guys. So he does play Hiyori. He's not at 8, so he can't play Mihawk just yet. I don't have a second Red Rock for the Mihawk, unfortunately. And then this Hiyori, I'm gonna have to waste a 5 counter. But yeah, we're gonna do Garp into Sakazuki if we don't find a Kuzan, which is fine. It's still good. Okay, so they find a 2k counter Zoro. And swing 8 at my Cavendish, I will save. Honestly, my Cavendish is such a big priority target as well that I probably, if I was him, I would have swung 10. But it looks like just 8, and we'll take the 8 at face. And then he's gonna play like, I remember he played like a Perona after. So I don't think it was worth it at all to leave 2 Dawn up. Or to not use 2 Dawn extra Dawn on your Zoro. 2 Dawn extra Dawn. Okay, so they have a 2k in hand, close up 1 Dawn up, I guess, for a Dead Man's Game? I don't know. So we kill Hiyori. We'll Garp into Saka because I didn't find anything better. And then Saka draws me a bunch of cards. I will put, I will do 5-7. So I'll discard, I don't need this many Pheasant Pecks, do I? And then 7 with the Cavendish. They finally block. Look how defensive our hand is. It's more than half 2k counters now. So probably gonna see a Mihawk from him. Yep. We'll have 5 Dawn. Swing 10 at Cavendish again. Okay, plays Perona, so it's a 9. Which I can defend 4k. Okay, he has Electrical Luna. So that'll stop my Sakazuki and my Cavendish next turn if I swing with them. Honestly, 10k would have been much better. I don't think 9k is the play. I don't know. I felt like a lot of Zoros have been doing this recently. Did somebody release their own Zoro guide that told people not to swing with the max amount of numbers you can swing for the turn to get rid of priority targets? Because I swear, I don't know. Watch my Zoro deck breakdown video. I feel like it'll do a lot better for you. Okay, so we'll do 6 with the Cavendish here. Right, that Perona to find that Electrical Luna was completely not worth it. If it was 10 at my Cavendish, I might have let it go. So he had 2 chances to kill my Cavendish for a really nice and secure number, but he didn't go for it. We will... Okay, here's where I make a mistake after I shit-talked whatever other Zoro guide is out there that's telling people to play it wrong. I need Rested Dawn to use with the Sakazuki. I didn't play a character yet, so I didn't have no Rested Dawn to use. So I basically just only cycled the card out of my hand. So swing 5 with our leader. I needed to play a character first, and then I could have put a Rested Dawn onto my leader. And then we'll attack with Garp for 8 here. Yeah, when there's these situations where he has like an 8k blocker, you want to attack with your small attacks first. Because if he ever blocks and he only has like 3 cards in hand, you can start switching to attacking the Mihawk instead to starve him. And that way he can't like just block for free in the end when you attack with the small character. So we'll do another Garp play into a Kuzan here. Then we will make their Kuzan unable to attack. We'll get rid of 1 Pheasant Peck because I have 2. We drew Pudding, which I don't think is going to be relevant anymore. His hand size is too small. So if he picked up the Luna to play it this turn, that's 3 Dawn we don't have to worry about. Now at this point, since I have a full board, even if he does like the 12k double swing into my characters, I still have 2 more threats the next turn to like continue putting pressure. Right, he missed his chance to kill my guys. Well, I guess he only really had a chance against Cavendish, but that's why I think Blue Kuzan kind of is good against Zoro, just because you can play 2 characters. So let's see, Mihawk can't attack, he has 7 down left. Pheasant Peck will protect against any kind of strategy he goes for. Right, if it's 12, okay, he just concedes. He's on a way out of it. I also see people run this 9-cost Zoro in the Zoro deck. This card does not fit in the deck at all. People are just running it just because it's like thematic. I don't know if there's some other Zoro guide out there that's telling people to only swing 8k and play 9-cost Zoro, but I don't think that's the way to play it at all. I don't know, I could be wrong, but fairly confident. We have a Kuzan versus Green-Purple Luffy match. This one... Oops, sorry, I forgot to mute myself. If I can hit my Garps, I think we should have a pretty good time. And then Gravity Blade's good against their deck too, so if I can find that, that'd be nice. Okay, swings at us for 8, so he didn't have an early play, no Searcher or anything, but me neither. On 4, I don't even have my Cavendish, unfortunately, so we'll swing 6 and then play Sengoku. Trash. We have a full 2k counter arsenal in our hand. We're going to keep the Virgo in case we want to play it next turn. But we ended up finding a 6-drop anyway, so we don't need the Virgo anymore. But this was the safer like bet. If I whiffed not finding a 6-drop play next turn, then I would have liked to have the Virgo in hand, so that's why I opted not to discard it to pay for Sengoku. But I can always just use them for counter at this point. Or if I don't find another body to play and I draw a Garp later, I can Garp into Virgo. Okay, they play a Nami Searcher now. That must be a card that he just drew or he took from life. That also means no Sanjay pudding on curve. And also my Kuzan doesn't have really a nice target to hit. Unless he plays that Zoro he just picked up, 5 of us. I don't think we should go too low, so we'll counter. Right, that EB02 Rush Luffy can always kill us out of nowhere. Okay, so they pick up an 07 Sanji. So we 5 out leader, we have a good 6-cost Kuzan target now. They take a 5. I don't think that's a wise idea. These 5s that he gets from me early are like the smallest number. Like, what am I trying to say? You're going to face a lot of 8k attacks after this, so you should defend all the 5ks you can now. Right? It's a 1-card answer to potentially save you in the future, because in the future you're going to have to spend 2 cards to stop my 8. So you just Taro into Sanjay and Pudding. I hope that made sense. I'm kind of delusional right now. Delirious. Delulu. English ain't even my first language, but it's my only language now. Sorry, parents. Sorry to disappoint. Sorry, ancestors. Why'd you move here then if you didn't want me to speak English? Okay, 6. We'll counter 2. Oops, did I give away that I'm not white? 5 at us with the Nami. No, I guess white immigrants also have that same. Oh no, I don't want to get into like race talk. I'm so delirious at this point. I might blurt out something I don't want to say. Okay, so we'll Tashigi into Garp, but we only have 7 Dawn, so we can't play him yet. So how about another Kuzan? Play racist ass Kuzan here. Then we'll discard racist ass Cavendish. We'll make Luffy Taro, who's a racist, not able to attack. 6 with our leader, 8 with the Kuzan. 8 at Luffy. Then he took that. Okay, editor cut out all the race stuff. Okay, so they play Sanji Puddin. Leader ability gives them 3 Dawn. So 5 total. Oh, 6 total. What the heck? Oh, he has 2 Sanji and Puddings. That's why. Ha 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 ha. And then he plays the 3rd one. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so 6 and a 7 and a 7 is what I have to defend. Here's a 6. Counter 2. And then a 7 and a 7. Or he's going to leave down for Gungam Giant. 6. Okay, it's Gungam Giant time. Counter this and we'll take the 7. Hey, 7. Don't mind if I do. Okay, we're gonna, this is a really fat pudding hand to have to pudding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's gonna lose 5 cards. It's too good not to do. So we'll put Ing, and then we'll just try to maybe like test it if we have lethal here. 8 at 6. If he doesn't have like a Gungo Giant after this, we might have a good shot. And then the good thing is like 6k is the same style line as his weakest character, so it makes perfect sense to attack leader. He did take that, so I guess we can try to gamble and go for 11k. He could be baiting me by like waiting for the last attack to Gungo Giant here, which would only need him to get another 2k on top of it to defend, but I like my chances, and we had it. One more. Okay, so Kuzan versus Shanks. Hold on, give me a second to cough. Okay, so Gravity Blade could be good. I know in OP12, like, that blocker Shanks is annoying, Lucky Roo is annoying, Yasop's annoying, so Raging Tiger can help with that. We have 2 Tashigis too, it's a good start to keep. But we're going odds, that's kind of odd for us. So Tashig into Garp. So we have Garp into Kuzan ready, but we're a turn off because of our curve. Okay, they play the Dawn Shuffler, Yasop. 5 out leader. Oh yeah, you guys might have noticed where there was like a Kobe game in my last deck breakdown where like I just like ended the game mid footage just because I got tired of recording and I just wanted to relax. I'm kind of sick right now, so maybe I'll just...
Card D Kaizoku.